Welcome, everybody, to Intensity Broadcasting's live flag to flag coverage of the SESRA Late Model Dirt Series. My name's Josh Hall. We'll be here at Kokomo Speedway here tonight. And we're looking for a great battle as it's the second to last race of the season. I know I've been hyping this one up as the season finale, but I do apologize. We do have one more week next week in Knoxville. So this is going to be a great race here tonight. So we crown a champion. Let's see who's out on track right now, getting some qualifying in. We've got Jeff Ward. I still have the logo up on the screen. I do apologize for that. Get that off there. Jeff Ward on track right now, getting his qualifying attempt underway. And the state is a little bit earlier, or the race is a little bit earlier tonight. They are going to have a little warm-up session before the race starts so that they can kind of get the track grooved in here. Jeff is going to finish up his qualifying attempt right now. Right now, so far, he's the first and only car to get out there and qualify. Looks like Dale Ward just getting out on track as well in that 55 machine. One of the T. Berry Motorsports entries. Here I'm catching the wall just a little bit, which is really easy to do here at Kokomo. As we see with a lot of the dirt tracks here, Kokomo is one of those tracks where you want to run right up against the wall. That's what we're seeing right here out of Dale Ward. I'm sure when Tyler Berry and Scott Fritz go out for their qualifying attempts, you're going to see much of the same right there. As right now Dale Ward is sitting in the number 2 spot, trying to improve on his time here on this lap. So he's going to come across the line. And he's going to stay there in the second position. Tyler Berry out on track now, starting his qualifying attempt. Again, you're seeing a little bit lower than we just saw Dale Ward running, but still right up there. Now he's ripping the top there, catches the wall, unfortunately. That's going to hurt his time right there. That's going to finish up Tyler's attempt now, and he's going to be on the pole at the moment. Still have 3 cars left to qualify, only 6 cars in the field here so far tonight. Well, I got a little break in the action. We're going to take a look at our point standings. And Scott Fritz, still your current points leader, and basically just has to show up to the next 2 races to win the championship. Tyler Berry, a little bit further back, 105 points back. And you can see where the current and projected championship points lie. That has to do with all 3 divisions, as these guys ran a North Division, a South Division, and a West Division. As you're seeing here, we are in the Kokomo here, which is going to be the West Division. Looks like we got another car out on track and ready to make a qualifying attempt. Scott Fritz just coming out on track now. Scott Fritz, again, your point leader. All he has to do is just show up for the next 2 races, and he will be your champion. A little bit better line than we've seen out of Scott than we saw out of Tyler. Oh no, Tyler. I'm sorry, Scott catches the wall hard that time. His first lap was good enough for second. I feel like if he didn't catch the wall there, he would have had a really good lap there for his go fast lap. One more chance to put this 48 machine on pole. Comes off of turn number 4. And he's going to stay in the second position. Tyler Berry with a 12:49. Scott ran a 12:54. Again, Jeff Ward has got out there and qualified. Dale Ward also qualified. Currently in 4th position. So Austin Hahn and Lance Heinberger, the only 2 drivers yet to qualify. With about 4 minutes left here. Again, thanks for joining us here on Intensity Broadcasting tonight. Don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe if you haven't already. Don't forget to watch for us on eRacing TV as well. Don't know what that is? Well, it's a free app that you can download on your Fire Stick or your Roku TV. You can watch live iRacing 7 nights a week right on the big screen. So check that out. It's eRacing TV. And we look forward to seeing you on there as well. So about 3.5 minutes left in practice. I'm sorry, in qualifying. And then we'll have a little warm-up session so that you can get the track driven in tonight before we get underway for 50 laps here at Kokomo. I just realized that I forgot to change my graphics, so and don't forget to join us after this race as well as the Extreme Forces Cup Series, who got their season underway last week at Daytona. We'll be doing battle tonight at Texas Motor Speedway, so you don't want to miss that one as well. They'll be running the Next Gen Cup cars at Texas, so it should be a good race to watch there as well. The new league that we have here on Intensity Broadcasting, so we want to see you come out and support the leagues. You can watch that one here on Intensity as well as on eRacing TV as well. See Lance Heinberger at the end of pit road getting ready to start his qualifying attempt. A little different look out of that 9 car tonight. Normally we see the flat orange paint. Tonight he's got the blue and orange. Sharp looking ride. And Lance wastes no time getting right on it. A little bit lower line than we've seen anybody run here tonight. See if Lance migrates up to the top here on this lap. No, he's going to stay more middle. Just isn't able to get the power down like everybody else was up on that high lane. Currently in the 5th position. As he comes off of turn number 4. He's going to stay in the 5th position. He ran a 13:50. He actually ran his first lap was a 13:50 and his last lap was a 13:50. So consistency there. The only person left to qualify is the 7 of Austin Hahn, and with a minute left, we'll have to see if Austin gets out onto the track. And we can see from that view right there, Kokomo, very wide track. Able to run a lot of different lines here. Everybody's going to try to migrate up to the top, but with as wide as the track is, you'll be able to run easily 3, maybe even 4 wide here at Kokomo. So definitely look forward to checking that out. As you can see right there from above, just how wide this track really is. One of my favorite parts of this track, and what iRacing's done a really good job of showcasing, is the victory lane actually has the DC 12 right there. This little practice gets underway here. This little warm up here. Again, we do appreciate you coming out and joining us here tonight on Intensity Broadcasting. So the car's out on track, and I'm sorry, it was the BC on the victory lane here for Brian Clausen. We see Lance Heinberger out there on track, running that higher line now. Didn't run that line in qualifying. Definitely getting that line in practice here in warm-up. And again, these guys are a little different rules than most iRacing leagues. There'll be 50 laps tonight. There will be no resets for these guys tonight. As well as our pole sitter, Tyler Berry, has the option, if he wants, to take an EOL. And for every position that he gains on track, he'll get 1 bonus point, plus the points that he gets for the finish. So Tyler could get an extra 5 bonus points tonight here if he was to decide to take an EOL. And with a small field at a track like Kokomo with 50 laps, I think it'd be a wise decision to get out to take that EOL here before we start and try to get those bonus points and see if you can cut a little bit into Scott Fritz's lead. Again, Scott pretty much has the championship locked up unless he doesn't show up to the last 2 races. He's here for this one, and next week, as we move on to Knoxville, we'll have to see what transpires in the championship hunt. So again, we got a little warm-up session going on here right now. And I do have to reset the stream. I will be right back with you in just a moment. We are back here on Intensity Broadcasting. I do apologize for having to restart that stream. I forgot to stream it on the SESRA Facebook page, but we're live there as well as on Intensity. And we're getting ready with about 5 minutes left in warm-up here before we go green flag racing. Just had qualifying already. Tyler Berry has won the pole, with Scott Fritz starting to his outside. Let's take a look at our points real quick. Coming into tonight. And right now, Scott Fritz is your points leader, as I was just mentioning a moment ago. All Scott really has to do is just show up tonight and next week in order to win the championship. Tyler Berry, though, on pole tonight, has the opportunity to take that EOL to try to get those bonus points here tonight. So we'll see what Tyler plans on doing here, as this is the second to last week. Next week, we move on to Knoxville for the season finale. So as I mentioned, qualifying has already concluded. And we'll show your grid here while they're just finishing up their warm-up. Well, it's not letting me show the grid, so we'll hold off on that. We got about 3 minutes left, or 4 minutes left here in warm-up. And again, these guys just get a little warm-up in here, trying to work the track in for a good race. Austin Hahn out on track now. Did not qualify. He'll be starting dead last here tonight. And Austin sounds like he's struggling a little bit here. Trying to work that low line. We've seen everybody so far really working that high line here tonight. But Austin's trying to see if he can find something on that bottom line to make something happen. Again, Kokomo, nice wide track here. We'll see plenty of room for racing 2, 3, even 4 wide at times. As you can see from this view, just how wide this track really is, especially the backstretch. Front stretch narrows down just a little bit, but the backstretch has plenty of room to allow for some great racing here as we get a great shot here coming off of turn number 4. Just how that wall tends to be the way that these guys are going to try to run the track here tonight. Again, it'll be interesting to see if Tyler Berry does take that EOL here, being in the pole sitter, to try to get those bonus points. Again, if you've never watched a SESRA race before, the pole sitter has the opportunity to take an EOL, and for every position he gains, he will actually get a bonus point plus the points that he gets for finishing the race. So tonight, if Tyler Berry was, with a small field, if Tyler Berry was to take the EOL, he'd be able to get an extra 5 bonus points towards that championship total. And with the end of the season coming down here in just a week's time, I'm sure he'll be trying to take any extra points that he can get to try to chase down Scott Fritz. So with about a minute and a half left in warm-up here before we go green flag racing. And I already see that high lane really starting to come in and really starting to slick off. We're starting to see that high lane get nice and shiny. That's going to make for some interesting racing here once we get going. Again, league rules, SESRA, there is no resets. So just like in real life, if you have an issue and end up on your lid, you could be out of the race real quick. And your pole sitter does have the option to take that EOL to try to gain the extra bonus points. Again, thanks for joining us here on Intensity Broadcasting. Don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe if you're watching on the SESRA page. We appreciate you over there as well. If you're watching on eRacing TV, we appreciate you watching it on the big screen. Don't know what eRacing TV is? Well, it's a free app that you can download for your Fire Stick or your Roku, and you can watch live iRacing 7 nights a week. So check that out. It's free. Might as well. E-Space Racing TV on Fire Stick and Roku. So we got about 20 seconds left here in this warm-up before we grid them and get ready for 50 laps here at Kokomo. Again, small field, but won't be small on excitement, that's for sure. As there's the checker flag here in this warm-up session. We're going to get ready to grid them here. And we'll take a look at your starting grid. See an awesome view of that Brian Clausen mural that's right there in the victory lane here, which I think is one of my favorite things to see. Let's take a look at our grid, and starting on pole again tonight is the 500 machine of Tyler Berry with Scott Fritz to his outside. Jeff Ward in the 55, he'll be starting third with Dale Ward in the 5 to his outside in row 2. Then Lance Heinberger and Austin Hahn will round out your field for this 6-car race here at Kokomo. And just because we have short field and a small car count doesn't mean that it's not going to be an exciting race. As again, we'll have to see if Tyler Berry does take this EOL here. Pulls down to the inside. Yes, he's going to pull down to the inside here. Take that EOL. So he can try to gain as many bonus points as he can coming down to the last 2 races of the season. So that's going to move Dale Ward in the 55, Jeff Ward in the 55 to the pole. Scott Fritz is going to stay on the outside, and Tyler Berry is going to have to work his way from the top here as the pace truck pulls off here on the front stretch. They're going to go 1 lap around. So here we go. Green flag is in the air. And a great jump from Dale Ward on that bottom side, trying to make that bottom work already. As we've seen, though, that bottom lane is not the happy lane to be. As they're already spreading out here, trying to get around this tricky track. Again, that top lane is going to be the lane, I think, that's going to work. So we got a battle back here. Tyler Berry just got around Austin Hahn for 5th, already up into the 4th position. And trying to move his way forward. A little battle going on up here. As Scott Fritz has gotten around Dale Ward for the lead. And Dale and Jeff Ward now. Oh, Jeff gets into that corner a little too straight there. That allows Tyler Berry to catch right up to his back bumper. And Tyler now looking up to the high side. Tyler's going to easily get around, as Tyler catches the wall too, but easily gets around that 55 machine. As I say that, the 55's fighting back hard on the inside, but Tyler Berry finally gets clear of that 55 machine. And he's going to set his sights on the 5 of Dale Ward. Scott Fritz, though, pulling away. He's got about a 2nd lead now. And Austin Hahn and Lance Heinberger battling back here for 5th and 6th place. They've been trading positions back and forth every lap. Now it looks like Austin Hahn's going to have a little bit of an advantage here. But Heinberger not going away. He's going to throw it down on the bottom here. Not able to complete the slider, though, and sticks down on the bottom again as Austin Hahn caught the wall there. And fortunately for him, looks like he's stuffed it down on the front stretch, so he's going to jump to the pits and not bring out the yellow, and Scott Fritz continues the lead here. Tyler Berry trying to run down the 5 of Dale Ward. Starting to work that low line now. And starting to successfully work that low line as he's starting to catch that 5 machine just a little bit. And while that's going on, Jeff Ward's kind of following in Tyler's footsteps here. His tire tracks, trying to figure out what Tyler's been doing to gain that speed. Tyler now was almost to the back bumper. And here comes Jeff Ward looking down to the inside. And now back to the outside. We're about to have a 3-way battle here for 2nd place. Tyler Berry trying to work that bottom side, just doesn't have any grip down there. The track just hasn't really come in yet, and he's waiting for that top side to get slicked off just a little bit more to see if he can make that bottom lane start to work. But right now, the high line seems to still be the way around. As you can see, that cushion getting smaller and smaller every lap. And that high side getting slicker and slicker. And Tyler there right now on the back bumper of Dale Ward. He gets it way low down there through the corner and almost pulls up alongside, but just does not have the momentum off that low side. He can pull right alongside, but he can't quite clear him. And now he's starting to find something down there. Tyler Berry down on the bottom. He gets around the 55. They're 3 wide now for second place as Dale Ward's thrown that move back down. They're still 3 wide. Some contact between all 3 of them. And Jeff Ward now moves up into second place. Dale Ward to third. Tyler Berry now still working that low line. Throws a slider. Not able to complete that slider, but he's got that bottom lane figured out. And I think if he can completely figure out that bottom lane, it would be dangerous for everybody else here. But now Dale Ward back on that high line. That high lane starting to come back now. Tyler able to clear Dale there, and he's going to go back to the high side here to try to run down Jeff. We see Dale now working that bottom lane, trying to figure out what Tyler found down there. Isn't quite as low as Tyler, and not able to carry the momentum. Now Tyler Berry back down to the bottom, searching for every bit of grip that he can find. While that's been going on, Scott Fritz's lead is continuing to grow as he's got now a 2-second lead over Jeff Ward. So Jeff Ward, up into the wall just a little bit. That mistake might cost him a little bit of time and allow Tyler Berry to start to reel him back in. Tyler's was just over 2 seconds behind. Now it's 1.5 seconds and back to 2 seconds. So Tyler struggling a little bit here. Jeff struggling a lot there, trying to keep that car out of the wall. As Tyler still working that high side. Now he's going to work back down to the bottom. And I think if Tyler Berry's going to have any shot here at a win, he's going to have to do everything he can to get down to the bottom and get that bottom lane working a little bit better than it has been for him. Although right now that bottom lane is starting to come in. And you're starting to see the change in color down there on that low side. And that's starting to show that the track is starting to kind of come in a little bit for him. Here at Kokomo, the track is a little harder than you normally see. The not quite a heavy track, so it's really dry to kind of start, and they're working as hard as they can to try to get something going here. Now Tyler Berry back to the top. Scott Fritz, though, his lead is shrinking as Jeff Ward is starting to find something and starting to catch him here. As the lead that was almost 2.5 seconds is now shrunk down to 1.5 seconds. So this 55 machine finding something here. Catching the wall just a little bit, but it doesn't look like it's slowing him down too much. Able to keep that car going pretty much straight here. And he is catching up to the 48 of Scott Fritz in a hurry. Lance Heinberger getting lapped here, staying up on the high side. And that's giving Scott Fritz his first taste of the bottom down here. And it's also allowing Jeff Ward to really catch up as Jeff's able to run that high line, which is the preferred line right now. Now Jeff Ward to within 1/2 second. You can see the gap there. Is now Jeff is going to try to get around the 9 here of Heinberger. And these guys are just bouncing off the walls every lap, running as hard as they can with just 14 laps to go. Jeff Ward's really got to push the issue now. Again, we've gone caution free, and this is the race for the win right here between Scott and Jeff. Jeff's going to look down to the bottom side. Nothing there for him. We saw Tyler Berry working the way bottom lane, almost catching those tires there in the corner. And Jeff now back to the high side. Oh, really catches the wall there hard. Slows down his momentum a ton. Loses a bunch of time to Scott Fritz. Tyler Berry sitting back in third. We have just 10 laps to go here. Does Jeff Ward have enough in the tank as he's really using that wall to kind of help him get that car to turn? Does he have enough here to chase down Scott Fritz and try to get the lead? Or is Scott going to continue to dominate the season here with another win? Cross the line this time. We'll have just 7 laps to go. As you see the interval between these two. And you can see just how much they're struggling out there with grip as that high lane is now really slicked off here. Oh, and Jeff Ward hard into the wall again. Scott Fritz, his lead is going to grow again here as they come through the corner. And across the line this time, we'll have just 5 laps to go. The lead now just 0.3 seconds. Does Jeff have anything in the tank here? As he's going to look to the high side. Scott Fritz, though, able to keep that car up on the high side with enough, making that car just wide enough to keep the 55 behind. Again, Jeff Ward trying to do everything he can. Now he's going to look down to the bottom here. Scott Fritz almost clears him, but slide job not able to work here. Scott Fritz gets the advantage. I think Jeff Ward might have one more chance at a Hail Mary here with just 2 laps to go. Next time by, we'll see the white flag. Barring any mistakes that Scott Fritz might make. White flag is in the air. Scott Fritz comes down the backstretch and through turns 3 and 4. Jeff Ward nowhere, one last attempt, but not able to do it. And Scott Fritz is going to be your winner as Jeff threw the big slider there into turn 3. A little Hail Mary attempt, try to get the lead, but was not able to do it. As we're going to take a look at that last corner here. We see the 55 machine. Again, that last-ditch effort gets way down on the bottom. Does almost clear Scott, but Scott has the momentum off the corner, and Scott Fritz will be your winner here tonight. So your results here tonight, Scott Fritz, your winner. Jeff Ward coming home second. Tyler Berry comes home third, with Dale Ward, Lance Heinberger, and Austin Hahn rounding out the rest of the field. So Scott Fritz with the win continues to stretch his points lead here and basically just has to show up. Doesn't even have to turn a lap next week, and he will be your champion here in season 3. Let's see if we can get a word with our top 3 as they're just debriefing and getting ready to get out of their cars and come up into the waiting room. Let's talk with our 3rd place finisher, Tyler Berry. Tyler, you got Josh in the booth. You got me?
Yeah, I got you, Josh.
Man, I know you had the pole. Took the EOL to try to gain max points. Came home in 3rd. Didn't really bite you, though, as you were able to get a couple bonus points there. Was that kind of the idea, though? Because you knew Scott was kind of a little bit quicker. He might have passed you anyways, and you wouldn't have been able to get any bonus points? Or were you expecting to kind of drive through the field with a small field?
Yeah, I was starting on pole on green. It's kind of hard to get that jump out in front of him, and I knew it was going to be top dominant most of the race. I didn't know it was going to be top dominant the whole race, but yeah, during that, I'm glad we had that 10-minute warm-up time because I got time to run in the bottom a little bit. I thought that was going to stick a little bit more than it did. I thought I was catching him, but kind of wore off towards the end, but overall still good. Got a podium, and I think Scott's got it down now, but yeah, I'll just have to adjust my strategy next race, I guess.
Yeah, for sure. And you seem to be the only one who is actually able to make that bottom lane really work. It only worked for a couple laps for you, but was you hoping that was going to be there a little bit more because you were really starting to make up some time there on the bottom?
Yeah, I was hoping they were gonna get involved with battling up there, and I was gonna just smoothly creep up on the bottom, and it felt like it was working, but it kind of I think we were running around the same lap times towards the end, so it almost worked, but of course, once again, congrats with Scott on the win. He's again, I gotta say he's dominant everywhere. He's really got these things figured out here. And Jeff Ward, congrats to him on second. He showed major speed like he was before, and yeah, just congrats to them too. And I'm just glad to get another podium again.
For sure. And as we go into, uh, was it Knoxville next week? Correct.
Yep,
Yes.
correct.
I know that threw me for a loop here. I was actually looking in the Discord here. So as we move on to Knoxville next week, how do you like your shot there?
I won last season's there, and I kind of know the lines a little bit better of where it's gonna go and what I can do there. So I'm pretty confident in that one. I just got to figure out if we get pole again, if I should do EOL or kind of stay up there with Scott. But we'll see what points look like after this race.
For sure. And before we let you go, anybody you got to thank? Any shout outs you got to give?
Yeah, I got to shout out T-Berry Motorsports, all my guys. We did a lot of practice this week and kind of wasn't that many cars, so it didn't slick out the track as much, but it was still a pretty good night for us, one and three. I got to shout out Majula C Speed Shop and Blake Majulis for helping out recently with our open setup stuff. Crow River Signs, Wrath Racing, ATV, UTV, Dynamic Designs, Scott Fritz Design as always, 605 Racing and Tire Solutions. Of course, you, Josh, up in the booth, doing a great job as always. I got to thank Jason for throwing on this series. Hopefully, we can continue next season. And lastly, just got to thank my girlfriend Lizzie and anyone else I forgot.
Awesome, man. Well, again, congratulations on the podium. I'm sure we'll talk to you again next week.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Have a good night.
As your third place finisher, Tyler Berry. Let's bring in Jeff Ward, your second place finisher. Jeff, you got Josh up in the booth. You got me? Oh, I went to the wrong room. Let's try that again. Jeff, you got Josh up in the booth. You got me?
Yeah, Josh, I got you.
Man, great job coming home in second. It was a bit of a struggle there as that high lane really seemed to be dominant and you weren't able to get anything working on the bottom side. But a couple last ditch Hail Mary attempts there. Is there anything you could have done differently to try to get around Scott there at the end, or were you doing everything you could?
Man, I tried a lot of different stuff. I was actually surprised I was able to get to him there, but he got to battling with the lapper and was really able to close the gap. And it's just hard to pass out there unless you do a real dirty slider. I didn't really want to do that to him. I feel like we've had a couple run-ins this season, but I feel like we're finally back to being even. So he got me once, I got him once. So it's a clean slate. I want to race him clean, and always fun racing Scott. We've had some good battles this year, and if not for some of the races I missed, I feel like it probably would have come down to the wire in the championship. But that's racing, man. You got to be consistent to go for a title, and looks like he's in the driver's seat on that. And I thought we had a chance tonight coming in that last corner there, but I really would have had door slamming to make anything happen, and I just don't want to do that right now. So yeah, we'll take second. We had some good speed, and hopefully we'll be good at Knoxville next week.
Yeah, I saw that Hail Mary attempt you took there on the last lap. I actually reshowed it on the stream here. And, I noticed that the high line was really dominant, but you had a couple times you kind of smacked the wall. Was that actually helping you a little bit or really hindering you as you were coming off the corner there?
I was just talking to Scott, and he had 0 incidents in the race, incident points, and I had 10. So it shows I was really using the wall a lot more than him. So credit to him for keeping that car clean. It's hard to do on this Kokomo track. I was really using up the right rear, pretty much grinding against the wall most of the race. So it's you got to do what you got to do. Kyle Larson's done it a lot of times and made it work. So figured we give it a try.
For sure. And you don't have to go back to the shop and fix this one either. So that's always a good thing. And as we move on to Knoxville next week, how you like your chances there?
I ran Knoxville a couple times. It's one of them that I got a little bit of, a couple laps on. So it's one of the bigger ones. I feel like we do pretty good at that as opposed to these shorter tracks. So hopefully we can get out there, lay down some good laps, and win the final race of the season. That would be awesome.
And before I let you go, anybody you got to shout out anyone? Any thanks you got to give tonight?
Yeah, I give thanks to Conundrum Outfitters, Arctic Coolers, Lexington Brewing and Distilling, Kentucky Bourbon Barrel Ale. Thanks to you there in the booth. Thanks to Jason for adminning all season, and looks like he couldn't be there tonight. So hopefully he can make the next one, the finale. And thanks to friends and family that's watching out there.
Awesome, man. Well, again, congratulations on the runner-up here. And I'm sure we'll talk to you again next week at Knoxville.
Yep. See you then.
And let's bring in our winner tonight, Scott Fritz. Scott, you got Josh up at the booth. You got me?
Yeah, I got you.
Man, this is like a weekly thing, week after week. We just end up talking every night. But domination again tonight here at Kokomo. And I know Jeff was trying to do everything he could there at the end, throwing a Hail Mary there, but you're able to hold him off. Were you expecting the track to stay one lane? I know you guys had that big warm-up session to try to work the track in, but were you expecting it to be one lane the whole race?
Yeah, I pretty much figured it'd be one lane. There, probably the last 7 or 8 laps, the bottom was there, but it was just so even with the top, there's no point in going down there. Because when I had to pass Lance to lap him there, it took me like 4 or 5 laps just to clear him because the bottom was so even with the top at that point. The top really has to go away for the move down to the bottom at this place. But yeah, it was good. Pretty much top guards started getting really treacherous there. It got really slick, and it was basically just keep the right front out of the wall and be real smooth with it. And I'd click off 7 or 8 good laps, and then I'd catch the right rear a little hard and put the right front in the wall, and they'd slow me down, and Jeff would gain a little bit, and then I'd pull away a little bit, and then there I had to go to the bottom to pass Lance, and then Jeff was able to get around him on the outside, and next thing I know, he's on my bumper. But we were able to hold him off, and Jeff always makes me work for it, and I always make him work for it when he gets one. So it was a good night.
Yeah, for sure. And a lot of respect between you two, I see, as we've been able to race each other pretty clean all season long. And as we move on to Knoxville next week, I know all you really have to do is show up to clinch the championship. What are your expectations as we move on to Knoxville next week?
Knoxville should be pretty fun. I hope it widens out a little bit, maybe gets up by the wall. It's really fun when you run up by the wall there because that track really likes to move around since it's kind of flat sweeping corners, and ran really good there last season, so it should be fun.
Awesome, man. And before we let you go, anybody you want to thank, any shout outs you got to give?
Oh yeah, always T-Berry Motorsports, 2 cars on the podium tonight, and everyone in the top 5. So Tyler, Dale, everyone did a great job tonight. Wrath ATV, UTV, 6 and 5 Racing Tire Solutions, SF Designs, Heatwave Designs, Dynamic Designs, my girlfriend, and then you in the booth, and Jason for putting this on. I know he couldn't make it tonight, but we all came out here and still put on a good show for him.
For sure, it was a great show, caution free, and that's what we like to see, some good hard racing there. And we look forward to talking to you next week at Knoxville.
Yep, thank you, Josh.
So there you have it, Scott Fritz, your winner tonight here on Intensity Broadcasting's live coverage of the SESRA Dirt Series. Don't forget to join us back here in about an hour's time as the Extreme Forces Cup Series will be taking on Texas Motor Speedway in the next gen cars. You don't want to miss that. That's going to be a great race. We had an exciting race at Daytona last week, so looking forward to seeing what these guys can do at the 1.5 mile at Texas. And again, next week, Knoxville, our season finale. You don't want to miss that. Scott Fritz battling for that championship. See if Tyler Berry maybe made a little bit gaining on him tonight here. We'll have to see how the points shake up. So again, my name is Josh Hall. Don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe here on Intensity Broadcasting. If you're watching on eRacing TV, we do appreciate you watching there as well. eRacing TV, well, it's a free app that you can download on your Fire Stick or your Roku. You can watch live iRacing 7 nights a week, so check that out, eRacing TV. Intensity Broadcasting, you can find us on YouTube, on Facebook, on Twitch. Find us on Twitter at IntensityBroad1. And always, as our boy Atlee, Atman Weiss would say, over and out.